Okay, we're live. I think we're live.
Oh, great.
There you are. Okay, I think
To
we're.
be honest with you, I was pretending. I was like mouthing words, waiting for you
I
to be like, I
wasn't.
can't hear your microphone
I
working.
was not even
And then
looking at
you
you.
said, we're live, and I'm just here like.
I wasn't prepared. I had so many different things I was trying to do.
We made it.
I see we got a follow from Jack Burnson. I know who Jack Burnson is. Thank you for the follow, Jack. Thanks for tuning in. We're here. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
I hope everything sounds okay. I don't have a mod today, so somebody in chat just yell at me if it sounds bad.
What if you just sound bad?
Well, I just sound bad anyway, according to Katie.
Sometimes my microphone pops in.
Well, mine's in view now too. We're both
Wild.
flexing ours. Actually, yours keeps disappearing with the background. We both have not sponsored. I wish we're both using
Sponsored.
Yeti microphones.
So now that Jack's following us,
Yep.
I got a Snapchat from him after our first initial episode.
Thanks, Ian.
I didn't get the joke at all because I forgot. We talked about so much in the first episode that I forgot our whole thing on the Generac.
Yes, that was a whole thing.
Generic generator.
Yep.
And so we got a Snapchat from a listener.
A listener.
At a hockey game with a Generac ad up there, and I was like, an avid listener of the podcast.
It felt pretty cool actually, because it was like literally just a reference to our podcast after one episode.
Podcast inside joke.
Yep, it was pretty cool to have a podcast inside joke already.
Yep, I love it.
So the topic of the day is movies. Now we've decided to try to do, and see how well this goes, a draft, if you will. I don't know if we have any TikTok watchers out there, but a popular thing on TikTok, I guess podcasts in general, and then they ended up posting it on TikTok, is... Yeah, I replied to his message. Sorry, I got distracted from chat. Did you not reply to his message?
I thought I did. I took a screenshot of it. Maybe I forgot to reply.
Awkward. Anyway, we're going to try to do a draft of movies. I'm trying to put a text thing together here real quick because I didn't do that.
You got it. So, yeah, if anybody's a TikTok watcher here, we're going to do kind of a draft style. So this actually was a lot harder than I expected it to be. We're going to do a draft of our favorite movies and our least favorite movies. Now, I do have a question for you, Sean, before we get into that.
Yep.
Is this subjective or objective? Is this my personal opinion or the general? Because I am going off my personal opinion, and
so
that may not be.
The problem I ended up running into with this was that I was looking at my favorites. I was writing down a bunch of my favorites, and I went, there's so many better movies in the world. Like this. I didn't pick this, but like Cars 2 is not a world renowned. I didn't pick that, but that's just an example.
That's the one where they go to Italy, though. That's a good movie.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm gonna keep it subjective then, because that's more fun.
I'm just adding this
all
to
I know
keep
how to do
track
anyway,
because
because
more for
listen.
myself than anything. I just messed that all up. There we go.
Well, I'm talking anyway. You're fine.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just that's why I want to keep it subjective, because I think Avatar is overrated. But generally speaking, people would think of that as one of the better movies, and I'm not gonna pick that.
That's an unpopular opinion, I gotta say.
I took so long to start watching. I know we haven't even started the draft yet. I'm already on a rant. I took so long to watch Avatar because everybody said it was like one of the best movies they've ever seen.
Sure.
It was in 3D. It was the big 3D thing. I just saw the commercial for the sequel too.
Yes.
But
yes,
I took forever to watch it because I was like, this is dumb. It can't be as good as everybody's. Oh yeah, I know. I do need to specify. I'm talking about the Blue People Avatar, not Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that Avatar: The Last Airbender live action movie will come up in today's discussion.
What I love though,
but right now, Blue People.
I love though that always is the confusion. Nobody ever assumes you're talking about the Blue People Avatar for some reason.
Well, that's because if you're saying that it's a popular movie, you better be talking about the Blue People one, because otherwise we're gonna get. Yeah.
Well, here's the other problem: is my movies I love, like just always, are movies that people universally hate. Like that's just my thing.
Listen, it's
for
not
some
going to make it
reason.
on the list today, but I think that Paul Blart Mall Cop is one of my favorite movies.
I
And
think
that's an unpopular opinion.
that is like the least popular opinion.
But I left it off. I had some help, you know, putting together a list today
Okay.
of some ideas.
I had no help.
So, well, listen, you got to use your resources. And I used my scouts. They scouted some options for
Okay.
the draft
Okay.
and brought the options back to me. And one of those options on the worst movies list was Paul Blart 2. And I was
Okay,
like,
yeah.
that's fine. That's fine.
Well, the Paul Blart
But the
all, on its
first
own was
one,
bad, and sequels in general
no.
were terrible. So
No. Anyway, so we're gonna do a draft of our favorite and least, like, best and worst movies, basically, here today.
I think that was Dad's subtle way of saying he hates the music choice.
Oh, does he not like the soundtrack?
It's a pretty bopping soundtrack. Let me find something better.
Rocket League's fun, so I don't see what the problem is.
No, maybe this will be a little subtler. Nope, this is my D&D playlist. Let's not do that.
Why?
Oh, no, it's not. This isn't my D. It just sounded like it. There we go. Okay, I think that's all the better. Okay, anyway, let's move on. That's supposed to be subtle and unnoticeable anyway.
Clearly it was not working.
So what I've decided, I think what I was thinking about for starting this off was, we'll do it kind of like football where we flip a coin and then the visitor, which would be you, gets to pick if it's heads or tails, and then we just...
Oh.
So you want heads or tails?
Heads. Wait,
It
you're actually
is...
flipping a coin, right?
Using Google. It was tails.
A likely story.
So then I get to go first. Is basically what that... I mean, I can show it to you. I can show it to you.
It's
Hold on.
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I have a button for this. I just happened to just put something in the wrong spot to make it hard to do that. There we go. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Where did my OBS go? There you are. I moved you at the wrong moment. There we go. I need to
Show me
share the evidence, which is... Where's my Google screen? There you are. There it is. Can you see it on the stream yet?
Oh, I'm behind you, so probably.
Yep, give it a second.
Yeah, okay, I believe you. I believe you. Okay, I believe you.
Okay, we're back.
Great.
All right, so anyway,
I think that's true. I think you took a good amount of time to be like, okay, turn into tails now. Should have flipped it in front of us.
Oh, I didn't even see your message. Never heard of her. Thank you, Mom. I should say. I'll turn it down a little bit. Thank you. See, I don't have a sound checker today, and to be honest, Britt's not the best sound checker. She likes everything quiet, so she's hard to gauge. But anyway, okay.
Bold words. She's not here to.
So I get to go first. I had a pick ready. For if I was gonna go first, just because it was really the only one I was sure we were both gonna put somewhere on the list.
That's my concern. Oh no!
So this was the only one I knew I was gonna do first if I went first. Otherwise, it might have fallen down the list if it made it that far. And I'm picking Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Oh, that's a good one. That is not what I was gonna pick.
Yep. I know that's not a popular pick probably, but I wanted to get it before you did. So.
Dang, your picks are gonna be so much better than mine. Okay.
My typos are gonna come out to the play today. Okay, here we go.
That's fine. That's all I do is have typos. Okay. So we had a conversation about movie franchises, movie series.
Yep. Well, can we before you pick, can we talk about Oh Brother for a minute before we move on to the next?
Absolutely. Sorry, I got really excited.
I know you get really excited. I didn't want to fly through. I didn't want to fly through the picks. I wanted to stretch them out a little bit. I thought we'd have some discussion.
That's the correct way to do it. But then I got really excited because I thought you were gonna pick what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Okay.
So basically, I don't know if everyone in that is watching this is aware of this movie because honestly, it's kind of a deep cut for the average public, I think.
Yeah.
So this is Oh Brother Where Art Thou with George Clooney, and do you know the names of anyone else in that? Because I'm terrible with names. This is gonna be a thing throughout the podcast.
Oh my gosh. The girl, the wife. That's not. I'm gonna embarrass myself if I
This
get it
is
wrong. It's
so anyway. There's
definitely
okay. Hold
not
on.
Helen Hunt, right? Definitely not Helen Hunt.
Hold on. Give me a minute.
Otherwise,
Shit.
no, I
Shit.
don't think I know a single other name of anybody in there. I've
Hold on.
seen them all in other things, but
Here we go. All right, I'm looking for the
I
cast
just need
here.
to know.
George
I just
Clooney,
need to-
Tim Blake Nelson, who was also in Holes. He was the camp counselor in
Oh,
Holes.
so true.
Yep. Yep.
And she turns to him and goes, "Can you hear the empty spaces?"
Yes.
Continue.
That's yes.
Yeah.
John Turturro, which is he was in he was in Transformers, I guess. I don't know what else to put him in.
An
Oh, he's
excellent
Monk's
film.
brother in the show Monk.
Oh gosh, I haven't watched that in so long.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
John-
We're doing TV shows another day.
Holly Hunter is in it. You were
That's what I said. I
Yep.
said Holly Hunter.
Yep. And then John Goodman
I
is
said
in for a bit.
not Helen Hunt.
So anyway,
is what I said.
yeah. So you were right. That's what I was saying.
I
Anyways.
forgot John Goodman's in that. Duh. Classic.
Yeah. So the premise of that movie was loosely, I stretched the word loosely based on the on the Odyssey. Is that right?
It is. It's based on the Odyssey.
Yeah. Not everybody knows that actually, which is that's the main thing I know about it.
Yeah. A killer soundtrack. It's so good. Is that where Man of Constant Sorrow is from?
Yes.
Initially, it's so good.
Yep. That was for that movie. Yes, it is a very good song. That soundtrack for that movie slaps, and that actually should have been a bigger part of why I picked movies, but I didn't even think of that till now. So anyway,
I really didn't either. But it probably finds its way into our choices regardless.
Yeah. BFP, are you bored? Are you bored with this discussion? Is that what you're trying to say?
I feel like maybe he might just be late because he fell asleep.
Oh.
Because I thought that at first too, and I was like, "That's funny."
My bad. I misread it. You heard it right. I misread it. Yeah, you just missed the beginning because you fell asleep. You haven't missed much, even though we're supposed to be 20 minutes into this. All we've gotten through is I picked Oh Brother Art Thou as my number one pick for movies. Just favorite movies for ourselves, not in the world. There are much better movies in the world, but for our personal preferences.
Debatable.
For Oh Brother, that might be the
tastes
best
are
movie
just-
ever made.
Honestly, Oh Brother should be in other people's lists.
I think so too. I think it's a forgotten movie, if not a never seen movie. That is one where I rarely hear people have seen it before.
Perhaps for no good reason. Sorry.
It does. It
That's
really
really
does.
funny.
I mean, it just.
It really does. Big Rock Candy Mountain also.
Yep.
A hit. I remember when we started going to karaoke at the American Legion when we moved to the cities, you went and sang Man of Constant Sorrow.
I did. That's true.
And that's how we met Marilyn, who we ended up family friends with for a long time. She came up and was like, "Do the dance, do the dance."
Yeah,
like they do in the movie with the beards.
Which I'm not gonna. Well, it's this weird hop thing he does.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can't. Yeah. But anyway,
that was so funny. This woman we don't know.
Yeah. But that was our family favorite movie for probably still to this day one of the top in our family, and that's why it's always stuck out to me. That's part of my list is movies that meant something to me at the time. I didn't put this on my list, but I had the Avengers written down as a possibility only because when I went to see the first Avengers with Dad, that was a moment I'll never forget. That was a pinpoint moment in my databanks in my brain.
Yep.
So anyway.
Yeah. No, I think that's a lot of our movies.
Yeah,
I have one on my
smash
list
moment,
as well. That's like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hulk smash.
Yeah.
See, I've never watched.
I know.
The Avengers.
I knew that was going to come up, is that you'd never seen any of the MCU, which some people
I've
would argue is probably a good thing. Some people say that's trash movies. Some people.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Dan.
We got
Dan
viewers
goes to law school with me.
Awesome.
So I should be studying right now.
I saw the name Warner. I just assumed it was related to your fiance.
Oh my gosh, this is not related to the movies at all. But I got a shirt from my mom because I got engaged to my fiance, whose last name is Warner.
Right.
And Mom got me a sweater that says "Future Mrs. Warner." And so I posted a picture of it on my Instagram. 3 people responded to my Instagram and was like, "I didn't know you were marrying Dan." And I was like, "That's really funny, guys. I've never heard that." And now I'm not wearing it to school. Can't ever wear that to school.
Never again.
My Lord.
BFP says you can always study later.
Thank you. That's the energy I need. I also said that all the rest of my day today too. So it's going really well.
We kind of brushed over. I know we're getting off topic of movies, which I knew was going to happen. We brushed over it in our first episode, but you are going to school to be a lawyer, and I'm an accountant. We're literally like the most boring career
Did we
choices.
even mention that last week?
You said that the only thing you do is law school, and then we were done. That was the end of the conversation.
But there's like a really important, which maybe we should save that for the TV show episode.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Yeah,
we'll save that little clip, but
because I think we're gonna have to do an entire, maybe even 2 episodes on TV shows, because based on how long the movie one is already taking.
Oh my gosh, I know. I like even was thinking earlier. Janelle was like, "What kind of movies are we talking?" And I was like, "It's very complicated."
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay.
Dan says we're family. That's nice.
That's awesome. Okay, let's get to your pick now. I know I was worried we were going too fast, and now we're not going.
This is just the way it's going to be. If this episode goes long, it is.
It's going to have to. I think we started late. That's my fault. We were trying to get things set
well,
up. Anyway.
yeah, my camera just fully didn't.
Yeah, we had a lot
of
IT issues right before start.
It was
so you're
wild.
you're lucky we're even here, honestly. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm kind of rethinking my first pick, but I think I'm gonna stand by it. And I wouldn't say that it's my number one. I would say it's mine that I would worry that you would take.
Okay. Okay.
So, like I was saying earlier, we decided that franchises, movie series are gonna be just like one.
Yeah, the franchises will be one pick. You can't pick like yeah. Just to save space and things like that.
So my pick is going to be Harry Potter.
I knew it was gonna go early. I knew it, and I said, you know what? That's okay.
I was like, I gotta pick it first, or you're gonna take it.
Britt, aka Pesky, is gonna be mad at me, but I wasn't even gonna put it in mine. It wasn't even gonna make it. So that's
okay.
Fine.
Okay. I guess I didn't need to use it first.
I had a feeling you were gonna take it, so I didn't even plan on it. That's more what it was than anything. If it dropped down to 2 or 3, I might have taken it. But
yeah, I think. Like, while I am obviously using the whole series, I don't want you to be able to take any of the others.
Yep.
It doesn't matter because I feel like we would pick the same specific movie.
Well, then let's talk that. What's your favorite movie within it?
I mean, it's 3. Azkaban.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Azkaban's the best one.
That's my favorite.
So even if we didn't do series, we probably still would pick the same movie.
Yeah.
It's just so well done.
I'm just a sucker for time travel timelines, like plots. I mean, time travel timelines.
Yeah.
Time travel plot lines.
Hence why you watch Doctor Who.
Right, Doctor Who, which Brittany and I are finally getting up to what we haven't seen before. We've been rewatching it, so I'm very excited with that. That's save that for the TV show episode. But anyway.
Yeah. BFP just made a really good point, actually, that I was talking about earlier when I was trying to decide on this, is that book movies are hard because the books are always better than the movies.
Always,
and that's true. Like, as pretty much as a rule, if I read the book before I saw the movie, I'm really not going to enjoy the movie as much. That's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't... Go ahead.
No. Finish what you're saying.
I didn't read the Harry Potter books before we saw most of the movies. I really didn't get into... Like, I loved the movies, but I didn't really get hardcore into it probably until I saw, I think, one of the last 3 movies with you at midnight. I don't remember which one it was. But I remember we were driving home and we were just diving into it. And I was like, oh man, this stuff is like, around 6 is when it gets really complicated. And so that's when I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is crazy. And so that's when I read the books, was after that.
And I think one of the last ones they touch on the Marauders map a little bit more than the rest, which I guess that's probably Azkaban, but I feel like in one of the ones you're talking about is the same thing. And I think what we got into was how the oh god, I can't even think of the name of them right now. The Marauders. They don't go into that at all, and I feel like that could be its own TV show. I've said that a few times now. There could do a TV show just on the Marauders in school, like what that entailed. So
yeah. And I do the same thing now. If I know a movie is a book, I'm gonna watch the movie first. It might make the book a little less like exciting to read, but you get details you didn't get in the movie. So it just makes the experience for both a lot better.
I think so too. That's actually a really good way to do it. I think a lot of people say no, read the book, and I'm like, no, watch the movie first because you'll enjoy it without knowing the source content, and then read it and find all the fun things that you missed out on.
Which will be a very important topic when we list our least favorite movies, because that has guided.
That's right. That's going to be a thing too. Movies. Yeah, I forgot. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. Let's go on to my
Thank
next
you.
pick, which I haven't decided yet because I got too involved in the conversation. I have it written down. I'm playing. I wrote this down knowing that like, oh, there's Harry Potter. I did write it down as like 2 or 3. It looks like so. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say the Green Mile. I know you wouldn't have picked that one, but I'm gonna pick it as my number 2. Now the reason for
Respect
that is that's the only movie for the longest time where I actually cried. That was the only movie that made me cry when I was younger. Like
I've never seen you cry at a
just
movie.
one single tear, but that's all it takes. Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
Ooh.
So I will add it to my list to
Ooh.
watch. I mean, I've heard you guys talk about it, but I've never seen it. Oh, I'm thinking of so many other good movies that this is going to be really hard to narrow it to 5.
And that was my problem when I was
Um,
planning for this too.
yeah, I have not seen it. Who's in that? I know you're really, really good with the actors' names, so
Yep, I am. If you give me 2 seconds and ignore the typing sound, I have a perfect memory.
you can think about it. Yeah,
His
for sure.
name. Well, Tom Hanks,
Oh,
obviously. I knew that. I
yeah,
should have
I
said that right
actually
away.
didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, and then Michael Clark Duncan is the name of the big guy who's in that. He's also in a lot of things.
Excellent.
Give me a second. Trying to find something that you might have seen
That's
that he was in. I don't know anything that you've seen that he's in. Kingpin. I don't think you've seen that.
I have not seen Kingpin.
I don't know anything you'd know.
Oh, if we're talking about Kingpin really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's an episode of The Office where Michael's like, I watched
I knew The Office was
Bowling. It's terrible. I watched Bowling for Columbine, and I was a little disappointed because I thought it was going to be a bowling movie like Kingpin, and that's not what it was.
Nice.
That's all I know about Kingpin. Starts and ends with that.
This is who he is. You're delayed because you're watching the stream, but you'll
okay,
see
no,
in 2
that's
seconds
fine.
who he is.
Oh, I've totally seen it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I couldn't find anything that I knew you'd seen, but I thought if you saw his face, you'd know who he is.
Oh, he's the Kingpin. Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
Got it.
I feel like I've seen a lot of movies, so I'm looking bad right now.
That's also a very long movie is the other thing and I actually read the book after
Oh.
seeing the movie. That's a perfect example of where I did that, and I was very pleased because the book has
Yeah.
so much that the movie doesn't have and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's huge. He's
I
a
want to
huge
stand
man.
next to him.
Well, it's funny.
That's all I want.
You know, Britt's Nana worked at a resort and had a picture with Shaq, and she's like 4'11" or something, like 4'8"
Oh, that's
even.
amazing.
And she came up to like his waistband. Like there's a picture out there that I've seen recently that it's just phenomenal.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Okay, so that's my Green Mile's my
John
second
Coffey.
pick.
Okay.
Yeah, John
think I know
Coffey in the
my-
movie. Yep, like the drink, but not spelled the same. Sorry. Anyway,
Oh, the dad spelled it the same.
he did, but that's what he says in the thing.
Okay. I have so many options.
It's tough.
It is, and I feel confident in picking this. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. Shutter Island.
That's a good pick. I didn't even have that on mine. That's a good pick.
That's why I was like, I don't want to pick it this early, but I'm so
That's why
confident in it that I just have to pick it.
Green Mile is the same way for me. I put too many eyes
Yeah.
in Island. There we go.
It's a wild island, I tell you
Yeah,
what.
apparently.
It's Oh, no, you put the L before the S, but it looked like an I because
What?
a capital I and an L look the
Oh,
same.
kill me. This is so complicated.
Yeah.
How many?
You have to be
I'm
correct.
done. I'm done. I give up. I know how to spell island. There we go. Holy crap, holy.
That's funny.
Okay, it's done.
English hard.
English hard.
Um,
English hard.
This is one of the greatest movies of all time, and I stand by that.
Yeah.
This movie's so good. And if you haven't, I don't even want to talk about it because if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it with no mind of I can't. No idea of what's gonna happen. It's so good. Also, I'm in love with Leo DiCaprio. Accountants do work with numbers and not letters, and it shows.
It shows, yeah.
It shows.
Typos in our group chat is the number one running joke in our group chat.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So I'm glad Old Paint said that because I was just gonna say that. So in our notes when we were first starting the podcast, there was one note when we were talking about movies and TV shows. It was this movie, and then all you said was ... top at the end or whatever, or spinner at the end.
No, that's not this one. That's another movie I might.
Oh, we're talking. That's. I'm thinking of Inception. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yes. No, I was torn between these two for this pick because But this is also a good question.
Yeah.
No. Of course not. I don't want to spoil too much for people.
Yeah, well, spoiler alert. We're just gonna say spoiler alert right now.
Spoiler alert. Like, one of my favorite quotes that like I quote all the time in the most trivial of circumstances is it better to something like better to die a hero than live as a monster or something like that.
Right.
Or, like something dramatic. So I guess that is cured. Is that considered
That's what I was
cured?
That's what I was gonna say. Is he is cured? He knows who he is.
You're so right.
He is cured, and he knows who he is, but he chooses to not. But
live
arguably,
in his ignorant bliss.
Right, exactly. But then does that mean is he cured because he didn't? You know, it's an interesting question.
Yeah, it's a very yeah.
Old Pain obviously feels strong about this.
Mix. Dad loves this movie. Yeah. I just know. Like I remember watching it with Cody for the first time, and it was one of those movies where you sit and you just watch the person watch it, which you do with every movie.
I do
but not all of us do with every movie. It's so uncomfortable watching shows or movies with you because you just sit there and watch us.
It's almost at the point where Brittany won't do it with me anymore. She'll watch it. She won't watch new stuff with me anymore because I'm so bad. I should send you this TikTok I sent her. It was just basically describing that. It was like, let's watch this movie together. Why are you on your phone? I need you to watch it so I can feel like I'm watching it for the first time.
Live vicariously for them. But I did it for this movie, and like literally the credits started rolling on it, and Cody was like, and I was like, yes, that is exactly what I wanted in a reaction to this movie. So good.
It's just satisfying to have that reaction from people who haven't seen it before.
Sixth Sense was spoiled for him. I was like, this will make up for it.
I forgot about that. Tell that story.
Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. He actually just watched.
Spoiler alerts for Sixth Sense right now, which isn't on my list. I'm gonna be clear, for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons.
Yeah, you should tell your Sixth Sense story too.
So my very quick story is, my father, Emmett Old Paint, who's in chat. You can go ahead and shame him. Let me watch this when I was like, I don't know, very young. I don't know how young. I'm not gonna throw a number out there, but very young. Oh hey, look, Dinah showed up. Hi, Dinah. Anyway, and I was traumatized. 7. Okay, I was 7, and Emmett Old Paint traumatized me by letting me watch it at 7. That's it. I was terrified of it, and I wouldn't watch it again until in my 20s, and then I finally watched it again. So
it's so good. I knew nothing about it the first time I watched it, and that's the correct way to do it.
Yeah.
Cody, my fiance, his dad had been telling him since he was a kid, like, it's one of the best movies, one of the best plot twists, like, you have to watch it, and they just never had sat down and actually watched it.
Right.
Well, if you haven't seen it, don't listen.
Yeah.
But it, like, we're watching 50 First Dates not that long into our relationship, and I'm like, you've never seen 50 First Dates? It's such a funny movie, you gotta watch it. So we watched it. And, like, you know, the premise of 50 First Dates is she lives the same day over again and doesn't remember.
Right.
So she gets her dad The Sixth Sense for his birthday every single day, and then decides they should watch it for the first time every single day.
Sure.
And so, as a joke in the movie, she comes out and she goes, "Can you believe that? He was dead the whole time." And I just froze. And Cody goes, "What?" And I was like, no.
Yep.
And that was like almost 10 years ago. So now we actually just watched it the other day for the first time since then.
Okay.
And he could actually maybe appreciate it for once.
Yeah, I remember us hoping that he would forget, but it just wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen.
No, because then they mentioned it in The Office too.
Yep.
And now we watch The Office.
It's just such an old movie that it's the go-to spoiler you're allowed to talk about, basically. And Game of Thrones is starting. Game of Thrones is starting to get like that. So thank goodness you're watching it now because
I gotta watch the last 2 seasons quick. Okay. TV shows is another
Is another
episode. We're
day.
not gonna get
Pin.
in
Make a note.
to Jon Snow
Yeah,
right now.
we'll be here for 3 hours if we do both in the same episode. That's what we preemptively decided that. Okay,
Okay.
so my next pick.
Yes.
I am choosing and again, to remind people who have come in late, when we're doing a franchise, we're doing all the franchise, not individual movies. So I'm making mine the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise as my third pick.
Oh, that's a nice. Honestly, I wasn't gonna pick it, but it crossed my mind earlier because now feels like the right time to share. I got a new T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm taking my evidence final next week, so I'm studying evidence.
Yep.
And my shirt says, "That's hearsay, I guess." Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I saw you sent me a picture of that.
I was thinking about Johnny Depp today, and that is a very good series. That's
if anyone has not watched the clips of his trial, that it's good. It's entertaining for sure.
Guess they were hearsay papers.
Dinah, you know me better than that. I'm not able to name that.
Oh gosh, it's probably either John Williams or Hans Zimmer. Those are the only two I know.
See, Katie's the one she's the music business major. I feel like she's supposed to know that stuff.
Too.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. Anyway.
I think Dinah fell onto the keyboard. I'm not familiar with those letters thrown together like that. Okay, yes. So back into Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
So this was again the later movies are not as good as the earlier movies, and obviously, for different reasons. But how many of these have you seen? You, Katie?
Gosh, probably at least the first two, if not three.
Okay, because the original trilogy
Definitely
is great.
two.
Original trilogy is great in my mind. And
Yeah,
then after that, it starts to
that.
fall off. They're not great. But it just again, it's another thing where it was such a pivotal moment in my life that movie came out, and so it just has a lot of nostalgia for me. Like I've been getting to see a Thieves game recently with Ship. I don't think Ship's here, but that just kind of gives you the vibes of that kind of pirate lifestyle and things like that. And I can't help but quote Pirates of the Caribbean every time we play it and things like that. It's a very quotable movie, and Johnny Depp.
I mean, I think BFP is absolutely right. Without Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean is not what it is now. Like,
exactly.
There's no way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's so good.
So that's why
Have
I
you
picked
ever
that
seen
one.
someone in a Jack Sparrow costume and been like, "Are you actually Johnny Depp?" Like some people.
There are some very convincing ones. I bet in Nashville especially, because I feel like
I have seen it in Nashville.
I've seen a few in pictures on Broadway.
Just on a normal Tuesday, just kidding.
As a quick reminder to those watching, if this is your first time tuning in, Katie's from, am I pointing the right way? Yeah. Katie's from Tennessee. I'm from Minnesota. LOMHOT means Lakes of Minnesota.
Hills of Tennessee.
Exactly. So if you
Very
came
nice.
here just to wonder what the name is, that's it. You can leave. That's what it is. So that's.
Oh, there's a streamer that sounds like him. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's hold on a second here. I just need to figure out if I can do that here.
Get rid of this guy.
I don't have my buttons. I did this back.
Where are your buttons?
I don't have passkey.
Okay.
I don't have passkey. Anyway, it's your pick anyway. So why don't you give us your pick while I figure this out?
Okay. Where's the passkey meter?
That's what I'm saying right now. Anyway.
Okay. This is a tough one. Because now we're getting to the point where I have a lot of good options. I know what my last pick's gonna be, because I know you're not gonna pick it. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna dive right in, and we're just gonna have this conversation because I think it's an important one, and I'm going to pick Inception because I knew I was gonna pick it eventually.
Okay. Yep.
I watched that movie so many times after it came out. I just thought of another movie I love. Also, I love Leo. We've already established that, but that's an ending I would like to discuss, and also not discuss, because it's not a discussion. It's not an opinion. There is a fact of how that movie ends. The top wobbles. You see it start to wobble.
So
he's in real life.
So it means it's real life. Okay.
He's awake.
If you say so.
Like, that's not a question.
I don't disagree. I would like to say agree or disagree right now, but I'm not gonna, because I don't. I agree.
And if you
with
think
that.
otherwise, you're not watching close enough in the last frame. Okay? Because what's the point of the movie if it doesn't wobble? There's no point.
Well, the point could be, does it matter? I think that's why it ends. Is like, if he's happy, does it matter anymore?
Yeah, because he should be happy in real life. Oh my gosh.
And BFP also makes a good point that Inception and Shutter Island, Wolf of Wall Street, just all bangers after bangers for Leo. I agree.
We did talk about Wolf of Wall Street last week a little bit.
We did, because I actually did a watch party of that movie on my channel, like early on, and like a month ago, I want to say, like early on in my push for affiliate. I just did that on a random Friday.
Yeah. Dad, don't talk to me. Don't even talk.
No, I
to
agree
me.
with you. I agree with you, and I could even pull up the scene right now if you want to do an analysis.
Honestly, that gives me a little bit of anxiety. I don't know if I want to see it. Right?
We won't do it.
But Dad's wrong. He's not correct.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with you. So there's no argument here. I agree with your assessment
really
of the situation. I know. I can tell
that people don't understand that it ends that way. Also, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it.
I mean, yeah, I know you love your...
I love him. Also, that's how I learned who Tom Hardy was.
JGL. I was trying to think of his initials. I could not do it. Oh, shit.
It took you a long time. Once again, the numbers,
Sorry, guys,
not the letters, are more your speed.
I'm telling you, numbers good, words bad.
I'm pretty sure the writers are wrong, Dinah. Because the top wobbles. It's not ambiguous if it wobbles. I don't want ambiguity. I want happy endings. That's why La La Land is not a perfect movie on my list, because the ending isn't happy. If I wanted a not happy ending, I'd just live a normal life. But I'm watching a movie.
I've actually never seen La La Land, so that's a bad. I don't know that one.
Oh, it's very good. You should watch it.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I'll do my next pick on that. Oh God, what am I gonna do? Well, I guess I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make my fourth pick. I'm running out of picks. I only got 2 spots left.
I know, I'm stressed about this now.
You know what? I gotta do it. Secret Window. Secret Window is my number 4.
That seems right for you.
So that is another Johnny Depp. You did 2 Leo. I did 2 Johnny Depp. That feels right.
That
feels right.
does. And Secret Window we had on VHS. You loved that movie.
I
Was
watched.
it VHS?
No, I don't remember it being on
Might have been
VHS.
TV.
I was introduced. I remember very well that I was introduced to it by a friend of mine when I was a child. His name was Bryce, and we watched it together, and I was obsessed. And I watched it like 100 times after that sleepover that we watched it together, and I just became obsessed. I think it was because it's the first movie that literally blew my mind, like with the ending. Just a very, very shocking ending. I won't get into it then, but it's got a twist ending, and it's probably the movie that made me fall in love with twist endings like that. Like any movie that just has, regardless of how good the movie is leading up to it, honestly, if it has a really good twist ending, I'm hooked. Like I can be annoyed the whole time, but if the ending completely flips the script on the movie itself, then that makes it a good movie in my mind for some reason.
And I love it too in those situations because you can watch it a second time and it's like watching it for the first time again because you're watching it from a different perspective, knowing the twist.
Yep.
You know what I mean? With movies like I've never seen Secret Window though.
Because I could. That's the rare thing about twist endings too. If they do it right, is Secret Window is a good example where I could watch that over and over because when you rewatch it, you can see the things that lead up to, like, it's obvious. Now that you know, it's obvious.
Yes. Being
able to watch a movie and look at it one way and then watch it again and it's a completely different movie. Exactly. To be able to watch it, I'm not going to think of the movie it was. I want to say it was Memento. I don't know if you know Memento. That's not going to be on my list. Memento is a movie like that where if you watch, that is a movie where I watched the whole thing and I immediately could have watched it all over again just because it changed the entire movie for me immediately as soon as it was over. The premise of Memento is the premise of that movie is a guy can't hold his memory for more than like a half hour or something, or 20 minutes or something. So the movie is actually in reverse. Not to spoil it, but the movie's actually in reverse, and you're slowly learning more about him because it's like the end of what happens, and then you find out why it happens slowly but surely. But
that's what's happening when it's happening.
Not until you probably don't figure it out until a couple scenes, but as it happens, you're like, wait a minute. So
that's cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Secret Window. I just remember very, very specifically you talking about it all the time when we were growing up. And I remember a screwdriver and
Oh
a
God.
dog.
Yeah. His dog gets killed
Um,
with a screwdriver. Yep.
that's the only thing I know about the movie because apparently that was really traumatic.
Yeah, when you figure out what the twist ending is to that, which I hope Chad doesn't spoil it for you, but it makes it worse. It just makes it worse.
I should have watched it by now. By the time,
Yeah, we should watch it. We should definitely watch it. We can do a
Yeah, we should.
Discord watch party for that, maybe.
Yeah.
I do want to start doing
Yeah.
not to get off on that topic, but I do want to start doing stuff in Discord like movies and stuff. So join the Discord. I think I have a thing for that. Hold on.
Yeah, put it in there.
There we go. So join the Discord. We'll do a movie night there for that.
Quick. Swift.
It's just a command. Anyway. Okay. I think it's your pick. Yeah, it's your pick.
Yeah. This is really tough because I already decided what my last pick is from the start. So I really only have one pick. Oh,
Really quick, BFP made a good point. Shutter Island is another one where if you rewatch it and you can just follow the breadcrumbs. I just saw that. So.
Just so good. The movie like practically doesn't make sense. It makes sense enough for you to enjoy the movie.
Yep.
Waiting for a resolution of this craziness, but the resolution is completely opposite. So like everything makes sense on the second watch. You're like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yep.
That movie's so good.
Yep.
This is so hard. There's a million honorable mentions.
You have two more, so it's not like you're done.
I know, but I know what my last one is because it's my favorite movie of all time. I'm gonna I'm trying to decide between funny and serious right now. That's where I'm at. It's really, really tough, but I think I'm gonna pick School of Rock.
Ooh, that's a good pick. I didn't even have it. I should have. I'm mad. I let that go. I'm mad I let that go. That wasn't even on my list. Damn it.
I didn't have it, except when we started going live, and Old Paint said, "Read between the lines, Katie. Read between the lines." And
Old Paint, why didn't you say that to me?
And I wrote it on my thing as soon as he said.
Oh, I just unplugged my headphones. Hold.
And I was like, I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Oh, I'm not. No, okay. Anyway. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
That's just quotable. That's just quotable. I'm really mad I couldn't find quotable. I have a shirt that says I speak fluent movie quotes and I couldn't find it. I was gonna wear that for this, but I couldn't find it. But anyway.
It's quotable. It's peak Jack Black. It's suitable for all of the ages, and you'll enjoy it.
I'm mad I let that one go. I didn't even think of that one.
It's a cinematic masterpiece.
I went with a bunch of serious for some reason. That's where my mind went when I was making this list today.
I was torn here. I was torn. Yeah, that's good. It's good stuff. You're not hardcore unless you live hardcore, and that's the motto I live by. Thank you. Schneeblé.
It's pronounced. Actually, it's Schneeblé.
Old Paint is just gonna be School of Rock quotes.
Yep.
in the thing now. It's just, oh my gosh, speaking of Jack Black, I decided to rewatch Community while I study, and then I discovered I can't do that because I've only watched it once through, so I'm paying too close of attention.
Yep.
So I can't do that, but I watched enough to get to where Jack Black shows up for one episode. Do you remember that? And he's apparently been in their class the whole time, and they just like show him.
He's like a background character supposedly, and then they like.
Yeah.
It's such a classic. Funny. It's such a classic.
He's just so good.
Another School of Rock good line is those who can't do teach, and those who can't teach Jim.
So stupid.
That's another good one.
Oh, it's also good, and I just remember not fully getting how awful it is when he's talking to the parents towards the end of the movie, and he's like, your children have touched me, and I've touched them, and they just start crying, and I just remember being young and being like, okay. It's so bad.
Whenever I think of that scene, I always picture the mom that's just like, oh my god.
I know. Oh,
that's
so good.
That's a really good one. Yeah. We should have more funny ones in here. I was too focused on like.
I know we could have done genres, but I feel like this is important. I feel like we need to focus.
Yeah. Might have to do a movies part 2 down the road and split it up more, you know.
Yeah, we can do movies part 2, runner ups.
Yep, we'll do that on the reunion tour. Um, it's my pick, I think.
Okay,
So
ready.
my last pick, which is I'm having trouble with because I have so many on this list that I wanted to include, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to include. Well,
I know,
obviously,
I feel
I
that
can't
way
include
too.
any of them. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we definitely are. Well, yeah, we're not on TV shows. Movie wise, yes, I'm gonna say yes. We're Disney kids.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we're movie Disney
but
kids
we
for
haven't
sure.
gotten to TV shows. That's gonna be a whole different ball game.
Oh boy, it'll be
That
that
might
will be
even be
different.
next week. That might even be next week, but I think it just means because we've the quotable, like just the types of movies we're into. Yeah.
Yeah, the things we're focusing on in our
Yeah.
evaluation of
Yeah.
yeah, and just our general personalities, honestly. But
All right. There's so many good ones
okay,
on here, but I have to go. I've decided my list is ones that were pivotal in for some reason, and I'm gonna go with Fallen. Fallen is my last one, and I don't know if you
my
even know this
gosh, of
one.
course. Which
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you, once again, um, haven't seen it. Uh, but I grew up. That was like your favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know Star Wars didn't make it on my list, and I did write it down, and I've it was tough. It was tough to not put it on there, but it didn't make it. It didn't make it. It didn't make it.
Which
I
one?
know.
Sorry.
Star Wars.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, I have Star. Duh. He said that, and I was like, yeah, we went over Star Wars. I have Star Wars on my potential list here.
Yeah, and I
So
didn't pick it. And I didn't pick it.
I have fallen behind.
Anyway, so Fallen. I don't know if a lot of people know Fallen. Fallen is a oh god.
It's a bit of a.
That's another
It's
twist
not
ending
as
kind of a
well known. Oh.
Denzel Washington. God, I cannot think of his name.
Oh, I thought it was Denzel, but
It's
I didn't want to
Denzel
sound
Washington, John
stupid.
Goodman, a bunch of other people. It's
John
another mind trip.
Goodman.
Everything on my list. Well, not everything on my list. The last two on my list are both mind trippy because that's a big genre for me. Like I said, that's my favorite kind of movie. Now, this one doesn't necessarily have a twist ending. It's just kind of a cool concept. And the reason this one stands out in my mind is I love the bad guy in this so much. I have an obsession with bad guys. That's the other shirt I could have worn was Disney villains. Maybe I'll wear that for the TV show episode.
You didn't pick. Okay, go finish first.
I know. There's too many. I couldn't do it.
But is V for Vendetta even on your list?
Yes, I wrote it down.
Okay.
I wrote it down. It was on here. It was considered.
I was just curious.
It didn't make it.
Fallen was the right choice.
Yep.
You were obsessed with that movie.
But
I forgot
just
it existed.
it makes me want to write a story with that villain character so bad. Like to use that character somehow in a story is what I'd say every 2 months or so it tickles my mind and I play with an idea and then I give up on it and so on and so forth. So, but that for those who don't know, the premise of that movie is Denzel Washington is a cop and there's a murder and I don't want to. How do I? It's just a good movie. I don't know how to get into it.
I'll watch it.
The bad guy's a demon who can pass to other people, and he messes with Denzel Washington by becoming a bunch of other people, and
that's fun.
And there's certain rules he's bound to, and Denzel Washington tries to kill him by using those words. And Embeth, what the hell is her name? Embeth Davids. I didn't even know that was her name. She's She's Miss Sunny in Matilda.
Oh my gosh, so true.
Matilda wasn't on my list either.
Matilda was not on my list.
Matilda is another really good one. But anyway, Fallen is another one where I watched it 100 times. Supernatural feel to it, yes.
You know what's another good Denzel movie?
All of them.
What the heck is it called? Is it Deja Vu? Is that what I'm thinking?
Deja Vu, probably. Yep.
Great movie.
I've mentioned this once before. I don't know if in stream or not, but to people, that I have a weakness for like 90s, or like older like thriller movies, like basically anything with Denzel Washington in it, for instance, that probably don't age well. But just like Deja Vu is one, Fallen, obviously. That kind of movie is I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for that kind of movie.
Yeah.
Or Bone Collector. That's another one that Denzel's in. You don't know that one. It's not that popular, but
I've seen very few Denzel movies, honestly.
But yeah, that's my niche right now in my life. Is I could watch those all day. I know I missed
Okay.
a lot of good movies. I'm a little mad I didn't get Star Wars in there. I wish I had, but I there's this I don't know. I'm gonna say that
Too many good ones.
I'm gonna honestly say that the most recent trilogy was so bad that it sunk it down to below my top five. Like because we're doing the franchise as a whole, the last three just
That's tough.
sunk the rest of it for me because. And I am a fan of the prequels. I was at the age where the prequels were my first exposure to
Oh, I
Star
loved the
Wars, like
prequels.
that I remember, and those were my favorites. And the classics are the classics, but the three new ones gave us so much hope that we could have a resurgence of that feeling, and I didn't get it. It was just bad. So yeah,
Yeah. Now, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
three, the
Okay.
Revenge of the
Yeah, that
Sith,
one.
is that what it's called?
I
Return of
thought
the
it was
Sith.
three. I was
Return
talking
of the
about Star
Sith.
Wars.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I just got excited.
Go, yeah, go.
I was talking about Star Wars earlier, and I was like, well, three's the best one, and I would only pick Star Wars because I would pick three, and my brother would also try to pick three, which is the
Oh
same
yeah.
way for Harry Potter. So funny.
Oh, BFP, is that the one with the um what's his name? Chris Hemsworth. I think that one's called Unstoppable. If it's the same movie I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
Is that Chris? No, Chris Pratt. Sorry, Chris Pratt. Right? No, it's not Chris Pratt. Who's in that?
I don't know.
It's Chris Pine. God, there's so many Chris's.
There are.
Chris
there are.
Pine and Denzel Washington in Unstoppable. That's the
Unstoppable.
movie, and that's another very, very good one. That's actually 2010, but that has the same feel to it. It's very good.
Yeah.
Source Code. I have seen
Man.
Source Code.
I have not seen Source
Source Code has a guy you like in it. And I don't remember his name. I'm gonna look it up because I'm that bad.
You're so bad with
Oh,
these
Jake
acting scenes.
Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal.
You just said a guy I like. I listen to Taylor Swift. I'm not allowed to like Jake Gyllenhaal. It's the law.
Yeah.
You know who likes Jake Gyllenhaal is Heath Ledger. He liked him a lot in that movie.
True.
Does anyone get that joke?
Oh, I got it.
Crowd?
I was there. Yes, three is my favorite Star Wars movie. I like the prequels because I was that age. We went over that already. I like the
I'm right
prequels
there
because
with
I was
you.
that generation.
Cody hates it, and
But
you
anyway,
know what?
back to
I
what we were
don't
talking
care.
about. So yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Michelle
What?
Michelle Monaghan. There we go. I got there. She's the other one in it.
BFP, Heath Ledger in 10 Things I Hate About You is unmatched by anything else this world has provided to us. That's just a fact. When he's in the stands singing, what?
Which A Knight's Tale. That's the best. I'm sorry, but that's my favorite Heath Ledger movie. That is a good movie.
Totally fine.
That
if
was
you were a girl, it might be 10 Things I Hate About You, but
I
that's okay.
love that movie so much. So much.
It's so good. But also, I have Dark Knight on my potential list.
Dark Knight was on my list too. That was a possibility. You still have to make another pick.
Okay, yes. No, I know what my pick's going to be. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's my favorite movie of all time.
It's clearly not. It's your fifth favorite of all time.
No, it's one that you would never in your life pick. It was safe at number 5. Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, okay. Fair.
It's the world's greatest movie. Reese Witherspoon, Best Actress.
That's your Fallen.
That guy.
What's funny is Fallen could be considered my favorite movie of all time, and I picked it last too because I knew you'd never pick it.
I'm not gonna touch it. Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama
It's
is
funny we both
the
did that.
best movie. I made Cody watch it on like one of our first dates. By dates, I mean we sat by each other on the couch and watched a movie.
Alan Tudyk is in Knight's Tale as well. I love Alan Tudyk. Sorry, not to go back.
I don't know who that is.
Anyway, finish what you were saying. I didn't mean to change subject. So,
it's just the best movie. That's just a fact.
yeah, and I can't speak much to that one. I'm sorry. I don't.
Mom and I. So you and Dad would go deer hunting every year, and Mom and I would go watch a movie. And it just so happened that Reese Witherspoon was putting out a movie every year that during deer hunting, and so we would end up going and see a Reese Witherspoon movie. I know that guy.
Yeah. Anyway.
What do you want to marry me for anyhow?
Anyway, go ahead.
You have a baby.
He's in Firefly too, which that's a TV show, so we won't get into that. But anyway.
Oh, I haven't watched Firefly.
Sorry, finish what you're saying. I keep interrupting. I'm very
That's
sorry.
all. And so one of the movies we went and saw was Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite movie.
It's a good one. I have seen it like maybe one time, but it's a good movie. I can't disagree with that.
Yep. And those are my picks.
That's our. I didn't type it in. Sorry, you're right.
A disrespect. Oh, such a good film. Okay. There were some choices that were not made. That's just the way that it is.
Honestly, there's a few that I wish I could have put in there in the heat of the moment because it's a draft. Because I mean, like in a football draft, you wish there's players you would have taken, and then that's just how it's gonna be.
Yep.
So we talked about doing worst, but we're right at the hour now, so I don't know if we want to just. I don't know if you want to call it here. If you want to, we can just talk about honorable mentions before we wrap it up of what we didn't include,
we can do some honorable mentions.
Maybe we can talk about worst movies in our return tour.
Yep. Or we can just list our least favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, just go with one.
The
one I always say I've actually never seen, so I have to actually think about one I've seen that I hate, honestly.
Which one is it that you haven't seen?
Jerry.
I had Jerry on my potential
I've
list,
seen,
but we've never seen it. I've seen a scene.
I've seen moments from it. I've never actually watched all the way down. Yeah, Jerry.
See, that was Dinah.
Yeah. Yep.
Jerry, like, I've never seen it except the scene where he's sitting on a rock.
Right.
And they spend about 10 minutes of the movie deciding if he's going to jump off the rock, and then he does, and then he breaks his arm or something. Like,
isn't Matt Damon in that? Because that's like Britney's favorite actor as well.
Maybe.
Which, probably. By the way, Good Will Hunting. If we're going to transition into
Cody's favorite movie of
honorable
all time.
mentions. Good Will Hunting is Britney's favorite movie of all time, and she's going to, when she finds out it didn't make my list, she's going to be ashamed of me.
Cody loves that movie.
Yep.
And in line with that I always put Cody loves this movie too is A Beautiful Mind. I almost picked A Beautiful Mind. Have you seen that?
Sorry, say again. What was?
A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Starring, I think it's Russell Crowe when he's young. Oh, Sean, it's so good. It's just so good. No Robin Williams movies.
Yeah, I have. It's been a while, but I've seen it. It's only been one time, but I've seen it.
It's so good.
Best
Robin Williams movie is RV. So I'm just
actually, it could be. Worst movie, worst Robin Williams movie is The World's Greatest Dad. If you've seen that, don't watch it. It's just bad. It's just bad. Bicentennial Man, that's another good one. So what's one from you that you wrote down that you didn't include? Like honorable mention.
Dead Man Walking.
I don't know that one.
Starring Sean Penn. I never saw it until I was a freshman in college. It was a Christian college, so we were required to take 2 religion classes, and for my second one I chose Jesus in film or something like that, religion in film.
Sure.
And so we had to watch Dead Man Walking and write a paper about it. And I think I hadn't really grappled with my thoughts on criminal justice or the death penalty at that point.
Sure.
All I know is that I was sitting alone in my dorm room crying as this man walked to the death chamber, and I was like, what's happening here? And so I think about that a lot.
Huh.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah,
Sean Penn's in it.
Sounds like Green Mile.
Maybe. See, maybe I do need to watch Green Mile.
Well, he's on death row in Green Mile. So I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I do? I don't do anything.
Green Mile starts with this big softy of a man goes to prison and
that big tall guy.
Yeah, and they're like, how on earth could he commit the murders that he supposedly committed and stuff like that. So.
I didn't know.
Yep. That's a good one. I had 7 on my list for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah, you love 7.
Yep. Yeah, 7's a very good one. That's.
I've never seen that one.
What's in the box? You don't know what that means yet. So.
Unfortunately, I do know what was in the box.
Okay, cool.
I have since learned what was in the box. It was a bit of a shock. Oh yeah, Robin Williams is in Good Will Hunting. That's true.
Yep, that's true. Yep.
I also had Bridesmaids on my list.
Ooh, that's not on mine.
Not quite in my top, but like I could watch that movie every day and never get tired of it.
That's a good one. That's a good.
Yeah.
What I think I've learned about myself from doing this exercise is that no real comedies made on my list other than Oh Brother Where Art Thou. I feel I like more dramatic movies is what I'm learning because I didn't put
Yeah.
any comedies on here.
They stick with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also had About Time on my list because it's a great movie.
Oh, About Time. That
But
one didn't even cross my mind. Yep.
not quite up there.
That's a really good one.
I know Dad loves that one, so
That's a really good one.
yeah. Okay, least favorite movie of all
Oh,
time.
I never picked one. I don't watch movies I don't like. I gotta think back. So what used to happen is when I was living with Mom and Dad still, and I think you might have went to school already, maybe not. Probably I don't remember. Anyway, irrelevant. Dad would be like, "Let's watch a movie at like 11
Yeah.
p.m."
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
You guys would do that. I would go to
I'd be
bed.
like,
Even when I lived there, I was like,
I'm like, all right, I guess. And then we watch the movie, and it's not good. He made me stay up till like 1 a.m. sometimes, and it wasn't good. And I'm like, why did we watch that? He's like, I just wanted to see your reaction. Like half the time he knew it was bad, but he just wanted to watch it with me,
he
which
wanted
is
someone
worse.
else to be in his misery.
Which is worse than me making people watch movies I like and watch them the whole time. He would make me watch movies he didn't like because he knew I wouldn't like them.
See how much you hated it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of any of those movies, but I just delete them from my mind. I feel like when I see a movie I don't like, it just gets deleted from my memory banks.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think excuse me, an example. Yeah, that's also his argument is he's like most movies have something about it that is good, which I don't disagree with.
Even Jerry?
Well, I've never seen Jerry. That's the
We're
problem.
still talking about it.
That's the other thing. Maybe it's so bad it's good because everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
I just don't. I literally can't think of one that I don't
I'm
like.
glad we didn't draft our least favorites.
I
then.
didn't prepare that because I forgot we were going to do that, honestly.
Okay.
And I also had to do this
Well, then
during
we
my
don't
lunch
have
break at
to.
work. So I just wanted to think of one, and I can't. I'm having trouble. I don't know. I'll name another honorable mention. I'll name an honorable mention.
Yeah, do that.
For me, I'll mention Django Unchained, which is another one I don't think you've seen.
Never seen it. A Leo movie I haven't seen. That's shocking.
That's true. Yes, you should see that one. You would love it.
Yeah.
I think it scares you away because. Wait, actually, I'm wrong about this one. I thought I was gonna say it was. Never mind. I'm gonna sound like an idiot. Never mind. But
It has Jamie Foxx in it, right?
yes, it is Jamie Foxx. That's what I was also.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie, so I think that's why it scares you away.
That man.
I did not put any of his movies in my top, but I do love his movies.
He did what's that mean? Quentin
That he
Tarantino
walks.
did
That he does
the
a lot of walking.
Hollywood that's funny. The Hollywood movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, I haven't seen
think
that one
that was
yet.
a
I haven't seen that one,
Tarantino
and I think it is. I think you're right, and I haven't seen that one.
It had so much potential, but it was so slow. I don't think it was that good.
That's kind of a thing with his movies most of the time, is that it's kind of very slow moving, but it's got some fun, quirky aspects to it.
It's not my vibe.
Django Unchained is not like that. And
No, that
Christopher
one was really
Waltz
popular.
Christopher Waltz isn't Christoph Waltz, I apologize. Is very good at it as well. So
Gotta look up.
I love
Christoph
Pulp
Waltz.
Fiction. I know my sister hates Pulp Fiction. It didn't make it in my top, but it's a very
Yeah,
good
it's a
movie.
no from me.
Yep. I've tried to get Brittany to
Alright.
watch that like 3 times, and she never finishes it. So
Yeah. Janelle put Lord of the Rings on my list, but I've never once seen that.
that's
those
another
movies,
one.
except
Britt's gonna
maybe
be
the first one.
Britt's gonna be mad I didn't put that on my list as well. But that didn't make it for me. I've seen it, but it didn't make it on the list for me.
That's a no.
I don't know what that means, Old Paint.
That was meta. That's
That
meta.
was a little meta, yeah.
What's Dad drinking tonight?
Oh, Kerry Washington's in that too, Django Unchained. But anyway,
Oh, see, BFP, exactly. Monty Python, like, I understand why people like them. I just don't.
yes, Monty Python's a very good comparison. Because I also like Monty Python, but a lot of people don't. So.
Oh, so speaking of Lord of the Rings,
Yep.
we were watching 50 First Dates. And you know who plays her brother in 50 First Dates? It's Sean Astin.
Right.
And so he comes on screen with his lisp and his fishnet shirt and
Yep.
his, and I'm like, Cody, isn't that? And then suddenly I'm terrified because I've never seen these movies. I'm like, that's Samwise, right?
Mhm.
And like I know it is, but then I'm like, wait, is his name not Samwise? Did I just make that up?
No, you're
And
good.
Cody
Yeah.
goes, what? And I was like, Samwise, right? And he looks and he goes, oh yeah, it is. And I was like, oh, thank goodness.
So that's my favorite thing is like a lot of times these young kids will be like, "Oh, that's the guy from Stranger Things," and
No,
yep,
never.
yep, and they
Rudy does not deserve that.
the comment section will just fill up with people being like, "What, you mean Samwise from Lord of the Rings?" Or what I'll always pipe in and go is, um, I have to look up his name every time, but his character in 50 First Dates.
Oh, Doug.
I
I just
always
watched it, so I'm
yeah,
pretty sure it's Doug.
Doug. Yeah, I always say, "You mean Doug from 50 First Dates?" Like that's always the one I go to just as a joke because it's so funny.
That is actually really funny. I love him, but he's not
Yeah,
from Stranger Things. He
yeah,
made an appearance. Stranger Things was lucky to have Sean Astin appear in their show. It's a
yes,
good show. I don't mean
yes,
to make it sound like it's not, but he's Rudy.
right, exactly.
I loved the commercials where he played Colonel Sanders.
Yes, those were
And they
good.
were like, Rudy, he's Colonel Sanders now. Good stuff.
Did you have any other really good ones you didn't get to?
No, I think I covered most of them.
The two I didn't mention was Shawshank Redemption and Big Fish. Those are the two that I also
I've
had on
never
here that I
seen
didn't
Big
pick.
Fish.
Big Fish I
Shawshank's
like.
good.
Big Fish I like because the premise is how stories passing stories along and adding details to make them interesting, and I can relate to that so much. And that's just like for that's the reason it speaks to me. But since you haven't seen it, we can move to Shawshank. So that Shawshank I didn't see until I want to say like a year or two ago. Like I
Oh,
waited a
I saw it a few
long
years
time,
ago.
and it's phenomenal. Yeah, it's very good.
It's so good. And Morgan Freeman,
Morgan
amazing.
Freeman. Yep.
The problem is now I've seen it, so that helps. But
Mm-hmm.
but even still, and especially up until I saw it, in my head I got Shawshank Redemption and Schindler's List confused,
Okay. Yeah.
and they're just not the same.
They're nowhere near the same. Yeah.
But now I've seen Shawshank. I haven't seen Schindler's List, but I've seen
Okay.
Shawshank,
I've seen both.
and it's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I was gonna say, oh, that's what I was gonna say. Oh, Moulin Rouge, absolutely.
Yeah, we both love that one.
Excellent.
We've talked about that. Yeah.
Never heard of her as said, "Is that Wilson?" a couple times.
I didn't even
And I
see
think
it.
she's referencing Castaway.
I haven't.
Um,
Oh, I see the
or
one.
maybe she only said it once. Maybe I
I
made
feel
up
like.
the
Oh no,
second
there's
one.
two. There's two. I was scrolling back. We're not allowed to make. We're not making
Yeah,
fun of her. We're just
musicals
pointing it out. We're
is
not
a
making
whole other
fun.
draft.
We're not making fun. We're just pointing out that it was said.
I'm pointing out that it was said twice because she
Yep.
wants me to mention that we didn't bring up Castaway.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it is a good story.
Goose.
We're Goose. Moving on. We're not allowed to.
I'm
make
not.
fun
I'm
on
not.
the
I'm not.
show.
I'm not. I'm not.
You
No.
just read her comment. I know. So
Musicals
Dancing
could be
Dad loves
another.
Dances with Wolves. Musicals could be.
Yeah. This is us just reading chat now at this point.
It is. I was gonna tell a story about Castaway though.
Go
really
ahead.
Quick.
Yep.
So I had never seen. It was probably like 3 years ago we watched Castaway or something like that.
Yep.
But I had never seen it. It's obviously a cultural phenomenon.
Sure.
And so I had heard of Wilson. Because everybody knows Wilson,
Yep,
and so
yep.
that's all I knew.
I remember
Is that
this
there was
very
a
well.
Wilson in the movie. I didn't know who Wilson was. So
Every
you can
person
see where
that
this
came
is
on
going.
screen. Every person that came on screen.
Literally the entire time, every person.
There's like
that
a
comes
dead
on,
guy
I'm
on the beach. You're like, oh, is that him?
Wilson?
Is that Wilson? We were all
I was
dying.
excited to meet Wilson.
We're literally dying the entire time.
It might be the greatest thing that's ever happened for you guys. I'll never get to experience
Oh.
it, and that's really sad for me.
Has Cody
'cause
seen it?
that's all. Cody was there when we did this.
Oh, that's right.
No,
okay.
yeah, so I won't get to do it to Cody. And Cody knew who Wilson was fully.
God,
So
it
like
was
literally
so
there's a guy on the beach that turns out to be dead, and I didn't know he was dead. I thought he was just hanging out.
Yep.
Well, like passed out. And I was like, "Is that Wilson?" And they're like, "No, he's literally dead." I was like, because apparently being dead is a limiting factor, but being an inanimate object is not.
So, and I'll never forget as long as I live. You just reminded me of it. The moment where he picks up the volleyball and he's looking at it. And it says Wilson across it.
Wilson
And there's
just hanging out. I'm like,
there's such a long pause. It felt like hours that we're just sitting there in silence. He's holding the volleyball, and it's just silent, and we're all looking at you, and you're just like, oh yeah.
I didn't know. They're showing Wilson, and I didn't know until he put his hand on the volleyball.
And then he puts his hand on it, and then it
was-
finally clicks.
I was so mad.
And you lose your mind. You lose it, and we're just, oh god, I'm gonna cry. It's so funny. You just lose your goddamn mind because it's just. Years,
talk about disappointment.
Years you had been wondering who Wilson was. Oh,
Which is even funnier
Wilson.
Now I see the
God.
references everywhere. Like, I don't know how I went that long without knowing it was a damn volleyball. Because everywhere I look now, there's Wilson references.
Right.
I don't know how I missed it for that long.
Oh god, it was
Lord.
so funny. Just because you obviously have strong opinions on things, so just the moment you realize that, it was just a long rant after that. Oh,
yeah, that's true. I did have Avatar on my list of potential worst movies. If that makes you, I've never seen it, but I know it's well hated, just like Jerry.
Yeah.
Oh, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, you got to be clear. Yeah.
Be clear. Yeah. Oh Lord, well, that was a lot.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about worst movies. I'm not gonna be able to come up with one. Next movie one, I'll think of one. I'll have one for that.
Yeah.
Well, our plan was to do a list of worst, and at one time we had the crazy idea we could do TV shows too in the same episode. Can you believe that?
That's funny.
We forgot.
TV shows is gonna be a while. That one's gonna be a little more hostile between us.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we have separate opinions on movies pretty solidly, and then we overlap in some areas, but the Venn diagram for TV shows is just a circle for us.
It's going to be a mess. That's going to be a cutthroat one, I'll tell you that right now.
That's going to be rough. I already know my first pick.
I do too, but here's the problem. The problem is strategy. Like, I know what I want my first pick to be, but it won't be your first pick. So the question is, do I save it because I know you won't pick it? And go cutthroat and try to get the ones that...
That's where I think it's going to be intense.
Yeah. Movies wasn't quite intense because we don't overlap as much as I thought we would.
Yeah.
Which I actually...
I know, that worked out.
As I was brainstorming, I knew that we weren't gonna overlap, but...
Yeah, and I think it depends on the mood I'm in, too.
Well, that was the other problem. I think I was in a very pensive mood this afternoon when I was making this list, because, like...
No comedy.
That's why School of Rock didn't make it on my list at all, for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Okay. No, it's not going to be a 2-hour special.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up here.
We're saving the rest for next time.
BFB, he's still talking about The Last Airbender. I'm pretty sure, so I've never seen it, and I just won't watch it. I'm going back and forth on if I should watch it just to be able to complain about it, or just don't watch it.
Did you watch the TV show?
I started
People
to.
Who watch,
I started
if you
to.
watch the TV show, you just shouldn't watch the movie. You just shouldn't.
Oh, never heard of her meant. No, never heard of her meant when we do the TV one that we might have to make that a 2-hour.
The time limit will be led solely by our vibes.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. We might have to stretch this out. Like, just set the time as like an hour and a half instead of an hour, based on the last couple episodes we've gone well over an hour. So I'm wondering if we go an hour and a half, and then we can always go early. But
then if we said an hour and a half, we're probably gonna go 2. Like, I feel like
that's fair.
It's like a speed limit.
We'll stretch that.
It's there to guide you, but you're not going to stay within it.
What I like about an hour is that we know we can fit enough in an hour, and then we can always go over. I'd rather have that than go too much and then not have enough to fill it, or just keep pushing the limit. So
I want to leave y'all wanting more.
Exactly. So what do we think? Should we make next week TV shows, or are we going to put that on the books right now?
TV shows it is.
Okay.
I'm ready right now.
So we'll prep. We'll do some prep, even though Katie's ready, and we will do TV shows next week. So
that sounds good.
I really thought I'd be interrupted by Pesky, but she's not home yet. So anyway,
she's busy. Right. She found a man at Bridgerton, and she doesn't need you anymore.
Clearly, that's probably what it is.
The Duke.
Yep. Okay. So we'll be on again a week from today, I assume.
Don't fall asleep at your desk.
Yeah, don't fall asleep at your desk before. Yep. You can always rewatch the beginning. It's going to be available on my VODs and in my collections. Oh, and I think I'm going to start posting them to a YouTube channel. I'm going to work on that this weekend. So I'll have the info for that.
Never Heard of Her made a good point. We might have to skip next week for finals.
Do you want to change the day, or you just want to skip it altogether?
Let's discuss.
We'll discuss. So keep an eye out. I'll post on all my socials and
Okay.
on my Discord. Once again, and not
Sounds
my
good.
Discord. I'm sharing a Discord with Brit, but I mean Pesky.
I
I
have
don't know
two
why that's on
bunnies,
caps
like-
lock, but just pretend it's normal. Okay. So check out the Discord and my socials. I didn't set up a thing for my socials, did I? Did I? No, I didn't. Awkward.
Bit my lip. You can see it.
I think that'll work. Is that right? Did I do that from
Oh, there's
memory?
the link tree.
Nope, I didn't do that right from memory. So don't use
Wait,
that.
what is it then?
Don't use that.
Where's this one taking me? I'm gonna click on it just for funsies.
Have
Oh,
fun.
it takes me
Have fun.
nowhere.
Hold
I
on.
like that you have a link tree. I have a link tree.
I have one, but I put the link in wrong. It's just shock_Sean TTV on my link tree. So just go do that. However you do.
Okay. Beautiful.
There it is. That's how you do it. There's no WW. That's why.
Oh, beautiful.
There we go. That one works. Do that one.
I'll click this one.
Anyway, so you can go to my socials there or Discord, and and it's all below in my Twitch as well. If you just scroll down in the About section, you can find it all there too. So go there and you'll be able to find out if and when we're doing next week's episode. So
Beautiful.
with that, we'll end the podcast.
That's it.
Thanks everybody for coming by. Thanks Jack Bernson for the follow. Yeah. Until next
And get
time.
yourself a Generac.
That's from
This
last
was
week.
not sponsored.
If you don't know the Generac joke, go watch episode 1.
Go watch it.
All right.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody. Peace. Hold on, I gotta mute us.